Well, things escalated quickly. We finished Drift Week January of this year. And now, due to popular demand, I guess you could say, they're doing Drift Week 2 already again this year. So it's going to be Drift Week 2020 and Drift Week 2020, aka Drift Week 2. Dates aren't solidified. The tracks aren't solidified. The people going on the trip aren't solidified. But because I had so many problems last year with basically everything that I was doing until we brought the FD car, which was crazy because there was a bunch of tracks we went to where I was the only one that didn't break something, or it just felt really weird. I didn't know what to do with my hands. And the Z would have been really boring in hindsight. Like, I'm kind of glad that the motor blew up round 2 and the trailer flipped. It was just trying to tell me, do not bring me, this car sucks. I get it. I love Zs for seat time stuff, but they are just not exciting cars to watch. They're not exciting cars to listen to by all means. There have been some random posts, some little teasers, some clues as to what I will be driving on Drift Week 2. I wanted something with quattro doors and that was a little bit different than anything that I would normally have, aka S chassis or 350Zs. And I got on the internet and I kind of swooped underneath Brandon Wicknick trying to get this thing and ended up buying this bad unit. It is a 2004 Lexus IS300 with a 1JZ motor in it. Supposedly it makes like 530 wheel horsepower. It's on E85. It has a 10-gallon fuel cell. It is full standalone. It has a hydraulic e-brake. It has a race pack dash. It has cut knuckles, I believe, new coilovers. Brandon Wicknick installed a bunch of new arms up front, and I don't know if he did any in the rear or not. This is technically the first car that I've ever owned with a JZ motor in it. I got my license in a car with a JZ in it, and it was actually either a 1J or a 1.5J, I can't remember. But that was owned by Brian DeWitt from Car Crafters, and that's the reason why it ran all the time, is because I didn't touch it. I didn't build it. It just worked. And I got my license in that car, and it was fantastic. Cool. Fast forward to now, I didn't touch this car, so hopefully it will just work in the same way. So, that being said, I'm super happy with this thing. I've gotten a couple of companies involved that are helping me out. Cosmo Tires is going to be providing me fresh meats to go sliding around the country in, wherever we end up going. I've got Kansei Wheels on board, who gave me a bunch of very chrome Rokus to toss on this thing and have throughout Drift Week. So I am ultra pumped on the way that that looks. I'm going to be designing a basic livery for this thing to make it look a little more poppy than it does now. I've got Status going to make me some fresh custom seats for this bad unit. So I'm super stoked to be back on board with those guys again. Can't tell you how much I loved my Status seats in my FD car. Absolutely hands down favorite part of my car. No questions asked. Still rep them with my Status windshield logo all these years after having that car. So 6 years now. I just tagged them and stuff, and so I'm really happy to be working with them again. And more importantly, we're going to be working with Tenths Motorsports. So the same guys that helped us out with the Volkswagen van bus build, the same guys that helped out when we were at No Coast, they brought somebody a clutch to the track and then just loaned their parts, tools. Brandon Wicknick actually came here and changed a goddamn motor in his JZ car, his S13, overnight one of the nights, only to win the competition. So hashtag worth for Brandon. But yeah, so I'm over here at Tenths, and we're going to make a list. It's now roughly a month and a half before I'm supposed to leave for Drift Week 2, and I want to have my ducks a little bit more in a row than I did last time, because that was kind of heartbreaking what happened during the first part of that trip. And then I got disqualified from all the challenges, and then it was kind of like I really wasn't there. Anyway, I don't want to repeat that again, and I want to drive the whole thing, and I want to make the whole thing happen, and I want to go to all the events and burn through tires and just, yeah, do it the right way. And so we're going to be over here at 10/10 making a list of things we need to get, things we need to change, things we need to upgrade, things we need to tweak. We're going to do a baseline dyno run and see if we actually need to turn the horsepower down, because I definitely don't need 500 plus horsepower on E85 with a 10-gallon tank. I won't make it anywhere. So we're going to need to figure out a solution for that, and then just kind of give it a once over and see what we're going to need to do with it. Here we go. So we're going to head inside to 10/10 and talk to Shay, who is the curator of this brand new motorsports facility, and kind of get an idea of what exactly it is they do here. Hello, Shay. Whoa, God. Whoa. There's a step there. I almost just died.
Nice to meet you.
High five. So, what exactly is it you do here at 10/10 Motorsports?
The better question would be, what do we not do here?
Ooh.
No, but we, it's tough to say, but kind of everything and anything related to motorsports activities. It could be, I mean, motor swaps, and LS swaps pretty popular, down to basic maintenance, alignments, performance alignments, fabrication, exhaust. We even do prototyping. So if you have a one-off weird part and a one-off weird build, like let's say you have a MR2 Spider that you want to put a suspension that never existed for it on, we could help with that. So yeah, anything, literally anything.
Dyno tuning.
That's right. Oh yeah, and we have a dyno. I forgot about that. We do dyno tuning. We got
alignment rack.
Probably one of the most skilled dyno tuners in the country.
Speaking of,
but yeah, we have an alignment rack that we can do basic alignments. We can do, I would say, motorsport oriented alignments. We can do activity specific alignments.
And spice.
And you can fit really low cars on the dyno.
Yeah, we've modified this dyno to fit Dan's drift car,
which
is quite low.
If mine can fit on there, most people's can fit on there. I'm really happy that you guys exist.
Me too.
Yeah, me too. So, and I kind of gave an explanation when I was sitting in the IS, but I was talking about how much you helped at No Coast and just kind of jumped in and let Brandon use the shop and gave people clutches, and that like having a motorsports oriented shop in New Mexico is just makes me so happy. Unreal. It is.
Yeah.
We kind of had that with Motiva, but Motiva is kind of focused on a certain clientele, and it's nice to have like a motorsport oriented shop.
Yeah, when we say motorsports, we literally mean every aspect of it. We have an entire team that actually partakes in motorsports activities, from drifting, autocross, not so much drag racing, but
there's plenty of shops in town that do that.
I have my heritage.
That's right,
Scottie comes from that world.
So
we broke him of those habits.
Road course racing, it's really, I think we have the team and the experience to set up anyone's car for any kind of motorsport, even off-road, honestly.
Beautiful, man. I'd love to hear it. We're just
we're now one of the many VW experts in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
No thanks. I'm gonna leave that one out.
All right.
But we'll leave that up to Rocky. Rocky can have every single one of those. But yeah, we're gonna give the Lexus a once over, possibly do a baseliner today, and just start making a list of shit we need to change. Sick. Oh, it's gonna be a long list. Indeed. So that was pretty unexpected. The car I picked up from a dude in San Francisco advertised it as a 560 horsepower car at 26 pounds of boost. Scottie was like, well, that seems like a really low horsepower number for the amount of boost that it was running. And it turns out it's a basically 680 horsepower car. 1JZ, no shit. Oh my God, 691. So Scottie, now that we've dynoed it, what are your thoughts? What do we need to do? What do we need to change?
We need it to make power sooner.
Yeah.
So the first step is we need to put like an LS3.
Woo! You Jay-Z boys just got pooped on.
Well, the cam timing, we don't know what's going on with the cam timing. It was all the way maxed out one direction at full advance on the exhaust, which equals about 11 to 12 degrees advance on the exhaust cam. So that seems suspect. We're gonna zero it out and then do a dyno run, and we'll see what our power curve is.
Sick.
If the power curve is better, we'll leave it. If the power curve is worse, we'll go back the direction that it was.
Fully maxed.
But in motorsports or custom combinations like this, there is no definitive answer. It may work better at whatever they did.
Sick.
That's the beauty of a dyno. We can test it real quick.
Well, we've dynoed the car. It made a maximum of 691 horsepower, which is ridiculous.
I kept on trying to take power out of it, but it just kept on making more power.
And they're just like, okay, well, I guess that's what it's going to be. It turns out the cam gear probably slipped per Brandon Wicknick. It should be somewhere near the middle. So we put it back to the middle, and Scottie said it ran happier through its runs, made slightly less horsepower, but I'm not really worried about that.
It made less horsepower because I took timing out of it. That's why it made less peak horsepower. But the cam timing is about halfway in between the two marks, which is about 5 degrees retard. Or 5 degrees advance, sorry. 5 degrees advance right now. And that seemed to pick up the power, inconsequential, like around 12 to 15 horsepower down low. But any power increase is a power increase, and that's where it's happiest. So that's where we're going to leave it.
Amen to that. And next steps, now that we know what the power is, and now that we know we need to reduce the size of said turbo because it is a gigantic diesel truck turbo. I mean, it's cool. If this was going to be a street car, this would be sick because I could do highway pulls like nobody's business. But it doesn't start building boost until like 5,000 RPM. And it's not at full boost until 6,000 RPM. So it's laggy. It would be a difficult car to follow somebody in drift, especially since I'm now used to being lazy and driving a V8. So probably going to get rid of that turbo and put a smaller, more responsive unit on. There's some vacuum caps missing. We got a lot of little things to kind of clean up around the engine bay, but otherwise it was a pretty damn solid purchase, I think.
Overall, it runs fucking great.
Yeah.
Like, Tony the Tiger would be all about this.
Great! Yeah, super stoked on this thing. Can't wait to get it a little more dialed in and actually go out and do some sliding around at the track, because I haven't drifted it yet. I drove it home and I've driven it here, and that's the only 2 times I've driven it. And advertised 560, actual 691. No big deal.
NBD is the cool kids.
NBD. NBD. But yeah, that's it for this evening, and we'll get back to the list once we know some more things that we need to get and fix. Ow, car cramp. Oh.
1JZ.
No shit.